Hi, this is Mike for Spokane update for July 19th, a week ahead. We've been tracking in previous updates and commentary, we've been tracking law enforcement oversight and a lot of specific cases, and those have been evolving. There's news on the bicycle deputy fatality from a year ago. DNA showed up on the bumper. The police, or at least the sheriff, still maintains that the kid was not hit by the police, but until we see the official investigative report, which we've been really trying to get for a while now, and is scheduled to come out on July 24th, so we're, a little less than a week. Nobody can really comment on this stuff. Both sides, or several factions, are arguing about what really happened with this event, this fatality. I want to defend both parties. I want open dialogue, but we have real problems here. Most of this should be handled kind of in an ombudsman committee or an independent oversight review type status, but we do not have that in Spokane. And that's kind of led to a question that came from a reporter for the Spokesman Review that asked me about serving on the Ombudsman committee. And at the time I said something about not considering it, because what I was really trying to say is I didn't consider the Spokesman Review wanting me involved with any of this. My history with the Spokesman Review goes back little ways. This is my third campaign, and in the first campaign, I'm hunting the Spokesman Review pretty seriously. I'm saying stuff like to ensure independent and an objective daily press. I was saying things like restitution for the River Park Square, deception without cost or liability to the city. These are my fundamental prime things. It was that and the Otto Zim Memorial. I think in 2007, I didn't like this thing getting swept under the rug, so I made a pretty big stink, and I went after the Otto Zim thing, and I went after the Spokesman Review. And I don't have anything against anybody that works at Spokesman Review. They're fine. Everybody gets there. I love them all. I want their families. I want them to prosper. It's just not that. I have a different opinion than the editorial board, which I also met this past week, and the things I want to talk about and the things they want to talk about, there's a bit of a gulf. But that being disclosed, when this Nick Deshay asked me about serving on the Ombudsman committee, I'm going to just take it that he'd like this thing cleaned up like all of us. I have considered it, despite what I may have said or in the conversation, and I've thought about it deeply. And if I'm to serve on the Ombudsman committee, there are some conditions that I'm going to be looking for, and we'll see if they're really interested in having me handle this for them. But I believe we don't really need so much an Ombudsman committee in the strictest sense of the word with investigative power. We need a citizen review of, there can be some police on there, there can be some clergy, there can be some press, there can be some trusted members in the community that can look at just the public record. We don't need special investigative power. We can just come and meet in the city of Spokane, in the council chambers, and record these meetings. Record them so they're archived. So we can, and the citizen can come to these meetings and voice to these meetings that we have, and we'll have them twice a month or, once a month or whatever it would take. But I could set this up so that the citizens can voice their complaints. We can have this volunteer committee that they've been somewhat restricted in the past, the Ombudsman committee, because they're maintaining the police union that it's working conditions, and therefore there can't be this independent oversight. And a lot of it had to do with disciplinary powers and special investigative powers. I don't think we need either one of them. I think we can have a committee to sit and review things like the bicycle sheriff dust up about the bicycle and the deputy car fatality from a year ago that there's so much controversy about. There's a couple things we can do to streamline all this. First of all, when we do investigations like that, when the investigation is completed, we should redact them on the spot and then put it on the shelf. And if anybody wants to look at a public record, they can look at it. 4 or 5 months for a simple bicycle car fatality in a public roadway, there's no reason that we should not have this out there. There's this it sows doubt in the community, and people are wondering if they're not trying to match the details. The investigation is done, it's completed, we need to see it. We need that first of all. Second of all, this Ombudsman committee, they're going to go out and they got this search and they're going to bring some stranger in that the community doesn't know, and they're going to pass judgment on all law enforcement matters. That's really not the issue here. Is the issue, and I think what the citizens of Spokane are really looking for, is that we don't have transparency. We can't really see in what's going on. This bicycle deputy problem is it's dragging on because citizens cannot see what happened. They can't get the actual details. We cannot see the official report. This does not help us. It's not fair to the law enforcement that if they're doing good work, why would they be afraid of a review? And the people that have problems, well, yeah, they're running from the review, but that's not the purpose. I mean, that's not us getting good value out of our law enforcement dollars, and that's not creating confidence in our police in the process by which we have this oversight. So this Nick wants me to, I don't know if he really wants me to, and maybe he's asking me if I've applied for it and if I would sit on it, and I have not applied on it. Because if I apply on it, I want those meetings in public. I want them recorded. I want to have some assurance that I can see the stuff that's made public. I can have that thing, your independent oversight running in about 60 days, in 60, 90 days. I can have trusted members in the community on it. They will come down there. We'll sit there. We'll talk it out. We don't need special investigative powers. We don't need to have disciplinary powers. We can just look at it in an event, and the committee can take its time, think about it, and then they can render a verdict and say, yes, we think it's reasonable here. No, we don't think things are reasonable here. Or they can say, yeah, the police are not providing enough information for us to render a decision. Now, we don't need permission under the First Amendment to assemble. The people that have a complaint about the police of any capacity they are not restricted. Their First Amendment rights are not restricted. They can come and sit, give their testimony. Now, it may be false. We may find them. They may be confused. That's part of the review process. But we cannot look to law enforcement to vindicate themselves. There needs to be an arm's length arrangement here. We need something outside of the union reach, outside of the management's reach, just something that's in the community. I have no problem with law enforcement serving on this community, because if they care, they should. We want to get law enforcement's insights on this. We're not trying to block out these opinions. We're not getting a fair hearing. We haven't for years now. It continues to be a problem. And where we're heading with the Ombudsman Committee, I have no confidence. Now, typically I can set something like this up and have it running 60 days, 90 days, and I would probably do something like that because it's like a startup thing. I would do that for like $7.50 an hour. No benefits, no sick leave. And I would further offer a money-back guarantee that if after 90 days I have not given a product that the city council thinks is of value to the community and worth that $7.50 an hour, they don't have to pay me. That's how I do most of my business deals. It's like I perform, we'll do something agreed. If I don't deliver as I say, I have no expectation for the taxpayers, the city council, or anybody else paying me. But that would be a condition for me getting involved in a committee that's intentionally kept in the dark, that can't get basic information, can't get public records, and all this side politics that has nothing to do with independent law enforcement oversight issue is not something I can consider getting involved with, which is what I was trying to communicate to the Spokesman Review reporter. That's my proposal if he's serious about if him or the city council or the mayor wants me involved in law enforcement oversight. If I'm involved, it's going to be recorded. The citizens can tune in. They can send us their comments, and I will seat independent review committees for each incident, so we don't bog any down. Anybody can serve in. I'll take 7 people out of the audience at a city council meeting over nothing. I think the city council should sit on this meeting and make sure we get good police oversight. Always saying we're going to get somebody from outside the area, always going to be some kind of committee that's going to sit and figure it out for us is just derelict in my mind. So there's your Spokane, Mike for Spokane update for July 19th. Thanks for tuning in. I'm getting a little bit of a following. It's a small following, but hey, that means some of you are interested in this law enforcement and you're interested in getting it solved for the future. We don't need to keep coming back to this issue every 4 years I decide to run for mayor, because every time I peek under the hood, out come these problems. I got the 4 or 5 jail deaths since the first of the year. That's a problem. Something's not right there. I don't know what it is, but we need to take a look and see why that's happening. And there's some lawsuits, and anybody paying attention knows we got a litany of things revolving around law enforcement. I need to put an end to a lot of that stuff. It's wasting our time. It's not where we want to go as a community. We want to build our business, build our economic base, attract jobs, investment, and give these kids coming out of college and high school a career path so they can create value and help build prosperity in our community. We're not getting that chasing our tails, trying to pretend that we've got police oversight. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon.